In the late 1920s, Henry Ford tried to do something that sounds like a myth. He tried to build an American town in the middle of the Amazon. Not a factory, not a trading post, a whole city, with white picket fences, with baseball fields, with American schools, and with strict rules on how people should live. This was Fordlandia, a utopian rubber city carved out of the rainforest, and it failed so badly that today it feels like a warning from history. To understand why Ford even went to Brazil, you have to understand rubber. In the early 20th century, rubber wasn't just useful. It was strategic. Cars were exploding in popularity, and tires meant rubber, endless rubber. But the global rubber supply was dominated by plantations in Southeast Asia, and that meant prices could be controlled. Ford hated dependence. He wanted his own rubber, a private supply chain, owned from the tree to the tire. So Ford looked to the place where rubber originally came from, the Amazon. And he picked a remote area along the Tapajós River in Brazil. The plan was simple on paper: clear the land, plant rubber trees, build a modern town for workers, ship rubber to the United States. But the Amazon is not a blank canvas. It's an ecosystem with rules, brutal rules. Ford's managers tried to impose a Midwestern lifestyle on Brazil. They built neat houses and clean streets. They installed American-style dining halls. They banned alcohol. They pushed a strict work routine. Even the food had rules. Workers were expected to eat things like oatmeal and canned goods, not the local diet they were used to. And the most dangerous mistake wasn't cultural. It was biological. Ford planted rubber trees in tight, organized rows, like a plantation. That's exactly what you do in most agriculture. But in the Amazon, rubber trees don't grow like that naturally, because when you pack them together, you invite disease. Fungus and pests spread fast. The trees were hit hard, and yields collapsed again and again. Meanwhile, the town itself began to crack under pressure. Workers were exhausted. The heat was punishing. The rules felt humiliating. And resentment grew. Then came the explosion. In 1930, workers revolted. They smashed property, chased managers, and took control of parts of the town. The unrest was so serious that Brazilian forces had to step in to restore order. Fordlandia survived the revolt, but it never recovered as a rubber dream. Ford's company kept trying. They adjusted plans. They moved some operations to a new site called Belterra. But the core problem remained. The Amazon fought back. And then history delivered the final blow. Synthetic rubber. New technologies began producing rubber without needing plantations in the jungle. Suddenly, Ford's Amazon dream was no longer essential. The world had changed. In the end, Fordlandia was abandoned. A planned city swallowed by the rainforest. American houses decaying in tropical heat. Rusting machines. Empty streets. And that's what makes Fordlandia so haunting. It wasn't built by pirates or lost explorers. It was built by one of the most powerful industrialists in history. And it still couldn't bend the Amazon to his blueprint. Fordlandia is a story about ambition, about control, about the arrogance of thinking nature and culture can be rewritten like a factory manual. It's a reminder that you can build almost anything, except a utopia that ignores the world it's built on.